Call the meeting to order. Please do the roll call.
Heather.
Here.
Sally.
Present.
Jim.
Here.
Philip. Marita.
Here.
Chris.
Here.
John. John's absent. Okay.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda for today's meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any amendment to the minutes from the previous meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any public comments unrelated to items on today's agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. We have nothing on the consent calendar. We have four public hearing items. First is a recommendation of the Borough Assembly on an application by the Petersburg Indian Association to purchase borough-owned property located on North 8th Street. Do we have any public testimony?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just wanted to correct something in the staff report.
Okay.
Page 7, item on the findings under B, the total area is actually approximately 342,000 square feet or just over 7.8 acres, not 3 acres,
7.8 acres.
approximately.
Thank
Mhm.
you. So not 3 acres and not 136,000 square feet.
Not, no.
Okay.
Do we have any public testimony? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I move to recommend to the Borough Assembly, borough-owned property located on North 8th Street identified as parcels 01006, 060, and 01006, 070 be approved for sale along with the findings as presented below in this packet.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. We received a letter from the neighborhood and several people in the neighborhood. And they're asking that we discuss having duplexes or single residential, but not apartment buildings. Think we should talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Thoughts? Sally?
Personally, I think it should stick to single or duplex, so it keeps the neighborhood feel. I feel like when you get an apartment building in an area, you tend to get cars left, trash cans. It just doesn't fit the idea of what I would like to see in a residential area in our town. It's a large lot area, and I think it could be done nicely. I know on the duplex that was put in at Ira 2 and 8th Street is fantastic. I like that a lot. I think if those were built, I would be really happy. And I think they're nice looking. They look like they're well built. They have privacy decks. If something like that was done, or single family, I'm all behind it.
Just for argument's sake, if they say small apartment buildings, did they have a guideline of what small meant to them?
Well, they're here. You could ask them.
Does anybody want to come up and comment concerning? Yep. Yes.
Chris Morrison, Tribal Council President, Petersburg Indian Association. The council has not approved the actual structures, the actual concept at this point. The only thing the council has approved is seeking to acquire that property for the purpose of putting in residential rental units. My idea, pardon me, was to construct at least one small apartment building, which would be 6 to maybe 8 units, single story for the elderly, the mobility challenged. We have apartment buildings right now on, I think, second and third. There's quite a few steps to get up to the unit themselves. The bathrooms are upstairs in those units. We do have people with mobility issues in those right now, and it is quite challenging for them to get up 2 flights of stairs to the only bathroom in their unit. So my vision was if we put in small apartment buildings, they would look very nice. There would be entry right into the unit, single floor. It would be a better option for those people. And I wasn't thinking of multi-story, just single story. They would have decks off the back and they would fit within the flavor of the whole area.
There would be discussion about what type of units and stuff as you move forward with the project? What you'll
Yes.
be putting in? Okay.
Yeah, I guess at this point, my question is, what is multifamily residential, which is what it's zoned for right now? And my understanding was that apartment buildings would be acceptable.
Liz is
In the
nodding
current
yes to
zoning.
that, so.
So, yeah, we weren't asking for any changes in zoning right now, and we wouldn't look at doing more than what is currently authorized by the current zoning standards. And we wouldn't, I can't see the council approving many apartment buildings. It's mostly going to be duplexes in my vision for that, with 1, maybe 2 apartment buildings, just for those considerations that I gave you earlier, the mobility challenged mainly.
The other thing you have to remember, I apologize for interrupting, is that
Go ahead.
when they replat, this is gonna come to us again.
Yeah,
So if you have those concerns, you could actually address those again.
right. So this is just a recommendation of sale of the property to PIA. And then as you move forward, there'll be more discussion.
Yes.
So,
I really appreciate you letting us know what your general vision is. And I see a real need for that. But I also understand the community, the neighbors wanting to keep that feel. I live next to the apartment complexes, and it's definitely, it's an apartment complex area, and it would change the flavor of the community, of the general community neighborhood there, to have it in single level, versus for the handicap, et cetera. And I have seen places like that in other communities down south. I have family and it's actually, it can be a very nice looking village, almost looking area with that.
I think you're describing what I envision in my mind, and that's to have it a very nice neighborhood feel. And when you drive through, it's not going to be startling.
So it doesn't look like a strip mall.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm concerned with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I really appreciate you putting that input and showing us.
Thank you.
that
And
vision.
So we look
Thank
forward
you for
to you
the
coming
green
back.
Space. You
Yeah.
said you wanted to incorporate green spaces,
Mhm.
and that would make it look really nice too.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe not for this meeting, but something to keep in mind is that these lots are not going to be developed overnight. We're looking at long-term development, and the council will have to develop a plan for what is done where. We have to get infrastructure in, and then we have to get building funds, and we may be looking at 20, 30 years that this thing will be developed, this area will be developed. So it will be a well thought out.
Make it on to my grandchildren and encourage them to run for office and keep the vision open.
There you go. Yes,
Chris, I have a question.
yes.
So back in the 80s, when we built the ball field, I worked for Rock'em Road. They made us very aware that there's a fiber optic cable in that area. Are you guys aware of that? Where that might be? Is it still active?
I do not know.
Something you might want to look into?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely there are considerations. We just had the plat done by Horion Associates. I have copies here if you would like to see it. It does carve out where the trail is because PIA is not interested in owning the land where that trail is. We want that to remain in borough hands. It serves no good purpose for PIA to own that.
Yeah.
So these lots, these 4 lots are drawn with that in mind, and it does not include that trail at all.
Well, they had warned us that if we hit it, it's $100,000 an hour. So, yeah, big deal.
Trust me, we will take our time and do this properly. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Heather,
Yes.
Marita,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Phil. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have consideration of an application from John and Miriam Swanson for a major subdivision and vacation of a portion of the Ramona Street right-of-way at 1320 Nordic Drive. Do we have any public testimony?
Mr. Chair, I'm here to answer any questions. I don't really have a presentation, so to
Okay.
speak, but provided a pretty detailed memo and hopefully that answered a lot of questions. But
Yeah.
if
To
there are any
identify
more,
yourself for the whole system.
Carl Hagerman, Utility Director.
Thank you.
I think your letter was very straightforward in
Yeah.
explaining what this was all about. So, thank you.
It's very clear.
Any other testimony? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the preliminary plot of the lot 10 consolidation subdivision along with the findings of fact as presented.
Second.
Discussion. As I said, I think it's very straightforward and the letter did a very good job of spelling out what this is all
A
about.
lot
so.
of detail. Mhm.
There's no further discussion. Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Marita,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Phil, Heather.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Consideration of an application from Petersburg Borough to replats lot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, block 264 Northeast subdivision to create a 50-foot right-of-way and 4 10,000 square foot residential lots. We have any public testimony?
Here, Carl Hagerman, Utility Director again. This also is associated with the same Pump Station 4 project in order to get the force main, the new force main, over to its tie-in point on Sandy Beach Road. We had to go through public property and there was no right-of-way. It ended at a point that we needed resolved. So that's what this is about. Dave Tinas has helped us with this application, but he and I are both here to answer questions if there are any.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further testimony? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve a replat of lots 3, 8, block 264 Northeast subdivision along with the findings as presented.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I like the fact that they're actually gonna be uniform in lot size. That was really nice. So nice job on the drawing.
Yeah, I think it's very straightforward. Looks good to me.
I had to admit, I had to go to the map with Becky's help to take a look and see where the world this was. I'd never heard of Urania Street or Augusta Street or Ramona Street. So I had a little lesson on the map today and where part was taken from one lot and added to make the bigger lot. That made lots of sense. And I think they're going to be really nice home lots. So I'm all for this.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jim,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Marita.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moving on to initiation of a rezone by the Planning Commission to rezone Lot 4, Skylark 2 subdivision and Government Lot 13, Section 33, Township 58 South, Range 79 East to open space recreation. We decided to initiate this because we thought it would be a good idea to have a buffer between the Severson subdivision and the new lots that are going to be developed to the west of that. Do we have any public testimony related to this?
Say your name.
I'm
Hello.
Joe Bertignoli. I'm speaking for myself and I appreciate the motion. As at the last meeting, there was a lot of discussion about what would happen with these lots, single family residential, single family mobile home. And although the Burrells did say that they weren't interested in this lot, it makes it a good buffer in that L-shaped lot too. It would relieve some of the angst of some of the immediate neighbors to having, you know, all the action right in their backyard there. So I appreciate the motion and I hope you support it as a group. Thanks.
Any other testimony? Motion?
All right, I move to initiate a rezone of Lot 4 Skylark 2 subdivision from single-family residential to open space recreation and Government Lot 13, Section 33, T58S R79E from public use to open space recreation.
Second.
Discussion? I think it's always good to have buffers between different neighborhoods within the community and since the borough owns these lots at the current time, I think that's probably a good thing to do with them, so. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Sally,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Marita,
Yes.
Phil.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We are moving on to non-agenda items. Are there any commissioner comments? Liz, are there any staff comments?
Yeah, I will not be here for the next meeting and will try to zoom in. Time and connections permitting, yeah. And then for the initiation of the rezone you just did, it's being generated out of the commission, and I just wondered if the Skylark didn't move forward that development, would you not want to do the rezone? Is it just contingent on that? And I'm sorry, I'm bringing up a topic that you just voted on off topic, but just as far as moving forward.
I would think it still is good to have a buffer between between different properties, and since that's a different zoning,
Yeah, that's all I needed
I
to
think,
know.
I think it would be good. I don't know what the rest of the commission feels like on that, but
It's currently public use, but now it'll be, it would be.
one of
then
them, one of those
open.
lots is single family
that's
right
right.
now.
Mhm.
One of them is public use,
Okay,
which
right,
could
yeah,
be pretty much anything that the government decides.
But right
we're-
alongside it is the open space.
Well, right, this would make that lot open space, and you got single family on one side and zone multifamily on the other side. So I think it's still good to have a buffer.
And honestly, it could always be rezoned later on.
Yeah.
It's not like it's permanent.
Yeah. So,
I like the buffer idea.
so
So, yes, it's still.
I would
okay.
still say pursue it,
Okay,
so.
all right.
Our next meeting is December 12th. at noon. Any idea who's going to be here?
You should be here. I should remember the meeting.
I'll be here. So. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Cleaned out right now. Look at my tree.